Yo, this is Brian Onrea, and you are now rocking with the Onrea Initiative podcast. Hope you're doing well out there, man. If you are rocking with the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast channel on YouTube. Follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Give me a follow. Share it with one of your friends, man, one of your loved ones, and let's get it cracking, man. I want to jump right into new music for this week, man. You know, yesterday was New Music Friday. I want to talk about a couple projects and a couple things that I liked, man. French Montana put out Mac and Cheese 5. Now, you know Mac and Cheese, man, that's like it was originally a mixtape that French Montana started, Mac and Cheese 1. And that kind of put French Montana on the map, man. You know, we're doing Mac and Cheese. And it's been a pretty consistent series. But Mac and Cheese 5, man, might be one of the best ones. I really enjoyed this album, man. One thing though, the cover art for this album is kind of weird. I didn't understand that cover art, man. I thought it was kind of whack, but the album itself is pretty dope, man. He had this promotion where he had a box of mac and cheese with different people pictures on there, and he will announce all the folks that's gonna be a part of the project, like Kanye West, West Side Gun, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, and all that stuff, man. But I thought that was a better look for the art as opposed to the actual artwork that was, you know, on it. But anyway, man, very, very, very dope project. My favorite songs on there was Splash Brothers with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne. Where They At with Kanye and West Side Gun. Praise God with Jid. Where We Came From is dope. It's a lot of other dope songs on there, man. The whole album is pretty much dope. They got one funny skit. He got some funny skits on there, man. Nice interludes. Just a complete project. It's about 20 tracks, I think. A lot of tracks on there. You know, I love lengthy bodies of work to give us options on what to listen to. So overall, man, Mac and Cheese 5 was pretty dope, man. So salute to French Montana for that, man. Also out on all streaming services was Hit Boy and La Russell's project, Rent Due. And this project dropped several weeks ago on Even, which is like a platform where artists can put their music out and consumers can purchase it directly from the artist. So it was out on there for a while, and I guess they got, you know, some good sales on there, which is a smart idea. You know, let your fans buy it. Then it came out on all streaming services yesterday. It's a dope project. Seven songs, you know what I'm saying, real quick. I think the whole album is like 18 or 19 minutes long. So it's really quick. It gets you right in and right out. You know what I'm saying? Another one with Big Hit. That's one of the dope ones that's been promoted from that project. Big Hit and the Russell going back and forth. And then my other favorite song on there is Real Life with Malachi and Jane Hancock. Now, Jane Hancock is real dope. She's on Snoop Dogg's label, Death Row Records. Nice voice, man. That song is real dope, man. I know they got a video up on it. I hope they do a proper real video on it, man, because it's a real dope song, man. I love that song. Dope album, man. The Russell and Hit Boy. Hit Boy is just on fire. Hit Boy really can't miss. And the Russell's on his own zone, too. I saw the Russell announce he's going on tour with T-Pain. I might try to slide up to one of them shows, man, to give it some support, man. The Russell and T-Pain doing their thing, man. So shout out to them. Shout out to the album Rent Due. Check that out. Lastly, Quavo put out a single called Himothy. And Quavo's cool. I think Quavo's dope. I'm not the biggest fan, but I was surprised, man. This song really goes hard, man. It's gonna be on my workout playlist for sure. Himothy. It's a fire song. He just kind of going off, you know. He speaks about Takeoff, letting Takeoff rest in peace. Stop talking about Takeoff, you know. I don't know if that was a shot at Offset or not, but you know, it's a dope record though, Himothy, man. Shout out to Quavo for that, man. Also, as far as music goes, Jeezy put out a Tiny Desk concert. Now, if you don't know about Tiny Desk, I mentioned Tiny Desk before on this podcast, but Tiny Desk is a series where the NPR offices in Washington, D.C. host musical artists in their office. Musical artists in their office at a small little desk. They just go sit behind the desk, they put their musicians behind the desk, and they perform live in the NPR offices. It's a very dope concept. There's been some legendary ones. I think that Juvenile set the bar. He set the standard when he came on earlier this year for hip hop. Him and Manny Fresh tore that Tiny Desk stage up, man. Scarface had a dope one too this year, man. Jeezy's, man, it was good, but I thought it could have been better. It was good though. He had live. He had I think 2 or 3 violinists, and he had a person playing a cello. So the strings always is gonna be dope to me. Keyboard player, a bass guitar player, and a drummer, I believe is what he had. And it was dope, man. But I just think, first of all, if you look at a lot of the comments on social media, it's kind of mixed reviews. A lot of folks loved it. Some folks didn't love it. Some folks was blaming the crowd, saying the crowd should have been hyper. But it's NPR. It's a tiny desk. What do you mean be hyper? Again, Juvenile's at the standard because Juvenile had that place rocking, which leads me to my first criticism is that Jeezy was kind of sitting down rapping. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of artists sit down, but you can't expect, because Jeezy was even talking about y'all got to get more hype. Y'all got to get more hype. You can't expect them to be hype when you lay back sitting down. You should get up out of your chair and perform if you want the crowd to be more hyper. So I thought that was kind of weird, man. And he did, and then what? The song he had with Mannie Fresh, he did that song, but Mannie Fresh wasn't there. So it's kind of like after Juvenile brings Mannie Fresh on Tiny Desk, you cannot do a Mannie Fresh song with Tiny Desk without Mannie Fresh being there. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Because Juvenile set the standard for that with Mannie Fresh being there. And then what is like one of my top 3 favorite Jeezy songs. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have Mannie Fresh there, or just don't do the song. You know what I'm saying? So that song kind of fell flat to me. And a lot of the songs, he would start over because I guess he didn't get the kind of reaction he wanted. So he started over, but then he'll still do it kind of. I just thought it was kind of like, in and of itself, the performances were all very good because the band sounded great. But at the same time, I thought it could have been better. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jeezy. Let me know what y'all think about the Tiny Desk concert. I thought it was good. It wasn't whack at all. It wasn't whack. Just after the standard has been set by both Juvenile and Scarface, this could have been better in my humble opinion. You know what I'm saying? But speaking of rappers, man, let's just transition over a little bit to this whole Shannon Sharpe Mase thing. I reported last week that Shannon Sharpe and Mase was kind of going at it a little bit because Mase said he was sugary, and Shannon called him a gangster pastor. Mase responded back to that, you know what I'm saying? He responded back to that. He kind of got at him about a couple things.
He called me a fake pastor. Somebody sent it to me, okay? You started out being very aggressive with Ja Morant pops at a Laker game. If you are for black people, this is not the way to carry yourself. And let me go further than that. You wanted to be tough with Mike Epps, and you settled quicker than Diddy and Cassie. Listen. And thirdly, you call yourself coming at me, right? You want to be aggressive with me, right? Listen, you showed poise, respect, wherewithal, resolve, compassion, reverence for Skip Bayless. Why are you so aggressive anytime somebody black say something? The man said, put your glasses on, and you put your glasses back on. Don't play with me. Put your glasses back on, Shannon.
So yeah, he's like, how come you didn't have this energy with Skip Bayless? And that's a good point. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems that Shannon is very sensitive to people speaking about him. But, Skip told him to put his glasses back on, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, it's a little bit different because at the time, Shannon Sharpe was working for Fox. That was his employer. Now he kind of works for himself. I know he works for ESPN, but Club Shay, he owns that, I believe, even though he's partnered with The Volume, Colin Cowherd's company. But he's kind of his own boss, in a sense. So he has a little bit more leeway to get at people. So I kind of see both sides to that, man. But yeah, Mase had to get back at him, man. I kind of feel like, they should just both leave it alone, go their separate ways and just keep it moving, because Shannon Sharpe is going to continue to get criticized. But the further you go up, you can't respond to every criticism. That's a good life lesson. You can't respond to everything, There's going to be people in life that talk about you. And sometimes it'll be justified, sometimes it won't be justified. But if you go defending yourself every time, you you can't focus on your main goals, your main mission, if you constantly responding to criticisms and stuff. You know what I'm saying? T Grizzly got that one song, Built For It, that I really love, and he says that people don't like him because somebody else told them some stuff about them, and they never heard his side. But you will never hear his side because he's busy doing his job. You know, I love that that part. So, you know, don't get distracted. I hope Shannon Sharpe just stay on his goals and not worry about what everybody got to say. You know what I'm saying? And Mase and Cameron continue to have a hilarious sports show. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody involved. But speaking of Shannon Sharpe, man, Club Shay, he had a dope interview that just dropped with Johnny Manziel. Now, Johnny Manziel is the football player from Texas A&M who like set the world on fire like in the early 2010s at Texas A&M. You know, he was on fire. He got drafted by the Cleveland Browns. He was real cool with Drake and LeBron and all that, and he just kind of didn't pan out, you know. And he told his side of the story that we never really heard before, you know. He gave a lot of in-depth answers to Shannon Sharpe's good questions. Shannon Sharpe was asking the right questions on this interview. Very good interview. It made you look at Johnny Manziel a little bit differently, you know what I'm saying? Because you kind of looked at him like a spoiled kid. It came from a rich family, and he cleared up a lot of that whole rich family stuff as well. He kind of went into more detail in that. And I forgot, Johnny Manziel is already a legend, man. He won the Heisman Trophy as a freshman. That had never been done before. So he already a legend, man, you know, in the college football world, you know what I'm saying? Winning the Heisman as a freshman and, like, having a great college career, beating Alabama. So, you know, he seems to be at peace. He talks about his drug use. He was doing drugs. He was on cocaine and all this stuff and pills. And, you know, he seems to, like, take responsibility for a lot of his shortcomings, you know, and explain a lot of stuff that didn't go right in Cleveland and why it went that way. You know, so shout out to Johnny Manziel. Check out that interview on Club Shay. It's already over 1 million views, and of course that's dropping the bucket compared to like his interviews with like Monique and Cat Williams. But let me tell you something, man. I think Shannon Sharpe, he had a point now where every single Club Shay interview is gonna get 1 million viewers no matter what because of Shannon. So shout out to him, man. Again, it's a good interview though with Johnny Manziel. It's over 2 hours long. It's a 2.5 hour interview, I believe. You know, and I listened to all of it, man. It's really, really good. So shout out to them, man. And speaking of sports figures doing interviews, man, Floyd Mayweather had did the Pivot podcast, you know, and I didn't hear the whole thing, but I heard a clip because 50 Cent reposted it. I had to go back and listen to it where he was kind of defending Diddy, you know what I'm saying? And he said some creepy stuff about his daughter.
Even like P. Diddy. I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen. And I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake, but things happen in life. And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stump him and kick a man while he's down. My take on it is it's not my business. I don't think it's right at all. And I don't condone it. Even if that happened to my daughter, I would be hurt. But that's a choice that my daughter made.
Yeah.
So if you want to say, look, man, Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, I'm okay with that. If you want to say, like, you know, I don't think he did it, I'm even okay with that. But to say that even if it is true, the women chose to stay, and if his daughter did it, it's kind of her fault that she put herself in that situation. That's just terrible, bro. That's just like, and I'm glad that 50 Cent checked him on that. And I believe Ryan Clark or somebody pushed back on it on the interview, but that's just kind of ridiculous, bro. That's just ridiculous to say. And I hope that we don't think like that. Again, I don't know what's true and what's not true in regards to Diddy, but if he did do it, that's foul, and it's not the woman's fault for staying. You know what I'm saying? It's not, don't victim blame here, man. So, you know, I'm with 50 Cent. 50 Cent kind of clowned him. And of course, 50 Cent is biased because he has his own issues with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But overall, man, that was some kind of lame stuff to say. And I love Floyd Mayweather. I love, like, what he means to the sports world and how he came up from Grand Rapids, Michigan, my home state, to be this mega star, be 50-0 in a boxing ring. I admire a lot about him, but that right there, my brother, was whack and lame. And hopefully he'll come to his senses and come out and clarify that and apologize, because, you know, it's nothing wrong with apologizing. A lot of times we can be wrong, but it's nothing wrong with just saying, you know what, I was wrong. You know, we all got pride and ego, but sometimes we gotta just admit that we was wrong. And Floyd, you were wrong, bro. You were wrong with that. Hopefully you come back and apologize, because as a fan of yours, it'll make me feel better if you apologize for saying some dumb stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, man, moving right along, man. I do have a movie review. Again, I'm watching all the movies from the Oscars, right? So I watched the Holdovers on Peacock. The Holdovers is an Oscar-nominated movie. I think it's nominated for Movie of the Year, for Best Picture. I know Paul, what's your last name? Giamatti. The main actor in there is nominated for an Oscar. And let me just say, man, he did an excellent job. The movie was pretty good. You know, it was a pretty good movie. It was a little bit weird. It was based in the 70s, the early 70s, I believe. It's about this professor at this boarding school, this all-male boarding school, and over the holidays, he has to stay with the students who didn't have nowhere to go, who weren't going home, who was quote-unquote holdovers. And it's kind of sad that, you know, at Christmas time, you know, your parents send you away to boarding school, and at Christmas time, they still don't want you. You still don't got time for you. So you got to stay at the boarding school, even over Christmas, you know. So it was a movie about just, like, you know, life and about, like, learning about yourself. It was a good movie overall, man. Was it better than American Fiction? No. Did Paul do a better job than Jeffrey Wright? Subjective. I don't know. I think they both did excellent jobs in their characters. I would give Jeffrey Wright the slight edge over Paul so far. Again, I got to watch all these performances, man. But it was a good movie, though. I can see why it was Oscar nominated. You know what I'm saying? So y'all check it out and let me know what you think about it, man. The Holdovers on Peacock. You can watch it. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about it. I think that's all I got for today as far as topics go. Sorry it took so long to come out with this next episode, man. But I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. You know, it's not easy for me right now, man, mentally. You know, I'm going through stuff. And, you know, I started at 9 to 5, I'm working. And I'm just going through stuff, man. And, like, sometimes I want to put everything on pause, you know, in my life just to kind of get my head right. But I'm here for y'all. You know, I don't want to, like, leave y'all hanging, because I don't, you know, I got 300 subscribers now. But I don't care if it's 300 of y'all, 30 of y'all, or 3 of y'all. All y'all that watch this, and if you made it this far in the podcast, I say this for the end. If you made it this far in the podcast, you really rock with me if you made it this far to the end of the actual podcast. So I really love y'all. But yeah, man, I'm here for y'all, man. I don't care how many of y'all it is, whether it's 3 of y'all, 30 of y'all, 300, 3,000, 3 million, whatever it is. I'm here for y'all, man. I'm here to give good, positive content, good energy for y'all. You know, and I'm not gonna quit, even though I feel like I want to take a break just from life, because, you know, stuff is not easy mentally for me right now, man. But I want to be here for y'all, though. You know, so I kind of forced myself to do this podcast today. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all y'all that listen. I love y'all. I hope that I motivate and inspire y'all, because y'all certainly motivate and inspire me. You feel me? Shout out to the Hood Handyman. Hit me up like, yo, where the podcast at? You know what I'm saying? I told him it'll be one today, so here it is. Keep taking initiative, man, because that's what I'm doing. Even though I'm not really doing a podcast, I'm like really just working on myself, man, getting my mind right, getting my goals in order. I did, to report, I did lose my first 11 pounds. You know, I told you I would report back. I started at 258, went up to 260. I got down to 246. So technically, that's 14 pounds I lost. And every time I lose 11 pounds, I'm gonna report to y'all. So when I get into the 230s, 235 or so, I'll report to y'all again. You know, I'm gonna lose all this weight, 11 pounds at a time. And 11 is my favorite number, so that's the reason why I use number 11. So again, keep taking initiative, keep going after your goals. I love y'all, man. There's nothing you can't accomplish if you put your mind to it. You know what I'm saying? So don't give up, man. Keep fighting. That's been our initiative, man. Episode number 27. You feel me? 27 episodes, baby. Let's get it.